train your brain to not focus on what is going wrong with the world. We can train our brains to notice the good things. And hey, when we're full of gratitude, our higher level brain is able to think more, analyze better, control our emotions, and seek and recognize opportunity. If our prefrontal cortex is offline because we're living in fear, we're living in stress, those opportunities and those ways to control our lives and get to our goals are going to be far less recognizable to our brain, make us less present. So being full of gratitude, as cheesy as it sounds or as cliche as it may sound, is quite effective. I recommend you do it because I do it too.
Welcome to the Secrets to Abundant Living podcast. Your guide on this journey is Amy Sylvis, ready to unlock the keys to a life of true abundance. We're diving into everything from financial freedom and optimal health to meaningful relationships, geographic freedom, and everything in between. It's about creating a life rich in experiences, purpose, and joy. Get ready for empowering conversations, expert insights, and real-life stories that inspire you to live abundantly. If you're ready for the secrets to an abundant life, hit that subscribe button now, and let's get started.
Secrets to Abundant Living podcast community. Welcome to another solo episode of the podcast. I hope you all are doing great. It is spring. We're feeling energized. We're feeling excited. We see all sorts of possibilities in front of us for 2025 and beyond, right? For those who don't know me, I am the founder and CEO of Sylvis Capital. We connect investors to fantastic hands-off real estate investment opportunities in the best markets in the United States. And it is hands-off. So folks don't have to deal with the tenants, termites, and toilets because our investors are busy living their lives. They're busy traveling, giving back, spending time with family, community, doing amazing things. They don't have time to necessarily run a real estate investment. So we do it for them. But I'm excited to talk to you all today. I'm a little caffeinated. I'm not going to lie. The sun's out here in Los Angeles and gosh, I'm just filled with so much hope and possibility. And I recognize that that's not the case for everybody right now. And I just feel that I need to give you all a bit of a pep talk, a bit of a, hey, let's talk about how we're going to make 2025, even though we're already a quarter in, how we're going to continue to make this year great for ourselves. Look, I acknowledge that times are uncertain. This is not political. I'm not going to get political. But wherever you are on the political spectrum, wherever you are in this country, you may be feeling some uncertainty. There are layoffs if you're a government worker. There may be other impacts of these budget cuts that are impacting the private sector. Maybe you're an investor like me and you're uncertain on what the tariffs may do or deportations may do to your business. There are question marks in terms of what this year may bring us in terms of the economy, in terms of our jobs and our income. But I want to teach you all some grit. I want to teach you all some perseverance and some resilience. Truly, I'm not denying this reality. So this podcast episode isn't going to be about trying to give you some toxic positivity necessarily. That's such a weird term, but I'm not here to deny your experience. But what I am here to do is to teach you some skills and some tips and tricks that I've picked up over the years through my lived experience in hopes that it will help you. Because here's the bottom line, and this may be a hard pill to swallow, but we have no control right now over what's going on with the economy and the government. We just don't. We don't. We can maybe do some things to influence, and that's fine. But I would submit to you that you have far more control over your personal economy and your personal circumstances than maybe you recognize. And as someone who's lived through many times, I think most of you all know, I live with cystic fibrosis, and for most of my life, my health and my body ran the show, and I had very little control or predictability over what my life looked like. And I learned a few things, and I really think that those skills are applicable now. So I'm going to share a few of those because I think you all deserve it. I think you all deserve to feel more control and agency and maybe even less fear over what's going on right now. So I'm not trying to take away your reality. I'm not trying to make things seem different than they are. What I am going to do is teach you how you can create a reality for yourself that may be much better than what society and the news and culture is trying to put upon you. I hope that makes sense, but it's true. The first thing I want to talk to you all about, here's the first step that I think is the key. And you've heard me talk about this before, but I'm going to keep banging this drum, is your reticular activating system. This is real. This isn't some, hey, Amy, you're some California lady, hocus pocus type hippy dippy stuff. No, this is real. This is a part of your brain that controls, that kind of is a filter for what comes into your awareness, what comes into your mind. It is called the RAS for short, the RAS. And it's essentially this. If you heard this before, great. You get to hear it again. Congratulations. But your brain is taking in so much around you that you're not even aware of. You aren't. You cannot be aware of all of the things that our brain takes in. It's just impossible. So our subconscious takes in all sorts of information, sounds, thoughts, external things that we're able to visualize in the external world. And our reticular activating system is the decision maker for what rises to the level of our consciousness. What are we actually paying attention to? And here's the great news. We can program our reticular activating system. We can decide to have our RAS pay attention to all of the danger and the uncertainty and the threats to our safety, or the fact that you may lose your job soon, or maybe you already lost your job and now you're catastrophizing. We can program our RAS to pay attention to that, or we can program our RAS to appreciate the fact that we woke up this morning and our eyeballs still work. And we got out of bed and our legs still worked and walked us to the kitchen. And we've got a roof over our head. And our bellies are full because we have enough food. And we got to say hello to a friend or a family member today because we are in community. And oh my gosh, we have the internet. You're listening to me on this incredible platform called a podcast where you and I may have never met ever, but you're familiar with my voice and you're hearing noises come out of my face. And I'm talking to you about the way your brain works. We can choose to focus on that. And here's the truth, that if we program our RAS, again, not in a toxic positivity way, but if we choose to program our brain, our reticular activating system, to notice and pick up on opportunities, on things that we're grateful for, you might be shocked at what your brain starts to pull in that you may not have otherwise noticed because you were being influenced by media, by the news, by negative people around you, or just this feeling of uncertainty. It doesn't make any of that go away. But listen, if you're deciding that you're going to still thrive in this economy or thrive in 2025, regardless of everything else that's going on, you need your brain working in your favor to pick up on opportunities, to bring you new ideas, to prosper yourself and your family, to give you the confidence in the community, to have the support to move forward and reach your goals. That's within your power. So I'm not going to go as far as to say, hey, you're creating your own reality. But let me tell you, what is reality? What it really is what our brain decides to take in and what we decide to notice. And that doesn't discount danger. It doesn't discount fear of maybe losing a job or a decrease in income or your health maybe not being where it wants to be. But I'm telling you, this stuff works. So how do you program your RAS? What does that look like? Okay, first step, define your goals. Get specific. You may have already done this, but guess what? It is now Q2 of 2025. So if you didn't do your goals for Q1 or for all of 2025, that's okay. This is a good opportunity to do that. Or if you have, maybe you need to adjust your goals, but make sure you write those suckers down and you're reviewing them daily. Look, I'm guilty as anybody. I wake up in the morning, I want to get going. I want to do. I'm a doer. It sometimes pains me to sit down and intentionally look at my goals, visualize, say my affirmations out loud. Sometimes that feels like it's in between me and the action I want to take, but no amount of action will overcome a reticular activating system that isn't primed the way we want it. So, step one, write those goals down. And step two, look at them daily. This repetition is going to help program and get that filter that is your reticular activating system where it needs to be. And then really prime your environment. So, surround yourself with triggers, visuals, even take time out during the day to remind yourself of those goals, whether they're written down, whether you have a vision board. It's about these signals, what you surround yourself by, and that repetition aspect. And then, of course, expose yourself to community. So if you've got other people that are doing similar things, maybe they are where you want to be, maybe they are on the same path as you, having that community will be huge as well. So you've heard all this before. I know you have, but just the negativity and kind of the downtrodden attitude I'm seeing, again, I get it, but we really need to focus on our internal environment to influence our external environment. It really starts with us in our brain to become more resilient, to become more full of grit and determination. So the other part of this isn't necessarily programming your RAS, but I think it is a great part two or addition to intentionally looking at your goals, having repetition, this visual cues that you have in your life and being a community is making sure that you practice gratitude. Truly. I think gratitude is particularly useful in the evening before we go to bed and reviewing our day, programming our brain to recognize what's gone well for us. Even if it's just, hey, I made it to the gym. I didn't want to, I made it to the gym. Hey, I ate the amount of protein that I wanted to eat today. Or gosh, I had one meeting and with a client, with our boss, with whomever, and it went well. Programming your mind to see the things that are going well, it's imperative. It helps avoid that downward spiral of focusing on the things that aren't going well, or more importantly, that aren't in your control. So get yourself a cute little gratitude journal like I have. We've got a local bookstore here in Pasadena called Romans that I love, and they've got all sorts of cute journals, and it makes me happy. I've got this great pen that one of my business partners gave me that's really fun to write with and brings me a lot of joy. Make it fun, but practice gratitude. Train your brain to not focus on what is going wrong with the world. We can train our brains to notice the good things. And hey, when we're full of gratitude, our higher level brain is able to think more, analyze better, control our emotions, and seek and recognize opportunity. If our prefrontal cortex is offline because we're living in fear, we're living in stress, those opportunities and those ways to control our lives and get to our goals are going to be far less recognizable to our brain, make us less present. So being full of gratitude, as cheesy as it sounds or as cliche as it may sound, is quite effective. I recommend you do it because I do it too. Okay, third step, last but not least, I need you all to recognize that in times of uncertainty, maybe even in times of when the economy is not great, there are incredible opportunities. There are people that have made fortunes during times of uncertainty. A lot of people are completely paralyzed, are terrified, and want to move with the masses. And hey, the masses usually move a bit too late. So I want you to program your mind and listen to audiobooks, read biographies, watch documentaries about how people have succeeded against all odds, especially when circumstances, whether it's the economy, their health, politically, whatever, things aren't ideal. I need you to see and learn from others who have gone before you and who have been okay. I'm not saying that everything's going to be perfect. That's not what this podcast is about. That's not what these other people's stories are about. But again, it's programming your mind that, hey, there are obstacles, but that's okay. It doesn't mean that all is lost. It doesn't mean that we are to freeze in fear. So a couple of examples that you may or may not have listened to or read. but a book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Hey, if you've read it, you know what I'm saying. Go read it again. Truly, you can't read that book enough. If you haven't read it, it's a quick one. You can listen to it on audio, whatever your flavor of consumption is, but it'll get your mind right. It'll help you understand. Again, I'm not trying to gaslight you that everything is perfect right now in your life or in the world. What I am trying to do is arm you with the fact that you are gritty, you are resilient, you have the strength to still reach your goals regardless of what's going on in the world. Books like this will help you gain perspective. I think also Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. David Goggins, if you're even vaguely familiar with him, that dude has a mind that is incredible, and his mind controls his outlook, his actions, his body, his goals. Incredibly powerful. Even if you don't feel like you're an athlete, or maybe you feel like you can't really relate to someone with that type of physical prowess, I'm telling you, there is goodness there for you to expose yourself to, because it's an example of how we can all train our minds, no matter what, myself included, to set our sights on a goal and push ourselves and recognize opportunity and recognize what we're truly capable of. So I hope you found this helpful. I am speaking to myself as much as I am to you all. We all need this reminder of exposing our brains, training our brains, being around other people who are doing incredible things. Because guess what? The world is not within our control, but our activities, how we set our intentions, they all are. And I know for some, this may sound a little hocus pocus. I got to tell you, 10 years ago, I would have said the same thing. Great, Amy, that's great. Okay, you can go do your hippy dippy stuff, but I'm going to set off and get to work. But man, you can spin your wheels and drive yourself in a completely wrong direction if your brain isn't taking in the right information, recognizing the right opportunities, and embracing the right mindset. Have you ever thought about having multiple streams of income? Instead of relying on just one stream of income where you're trading your time for money, how would you like to free up more of your time and live a more abundant life? As a listener of the show, you're invited to attend one of our upcoming trainings where I'll give you an inside look into how you can add passive income and get all the other perks of recession-resistant real estate investing without the headaches of being a landlord. I'll also be sharing some hidden mistakes to avoid and the criteria I personally look for when evaluating potential investment opportunities. To reserve your seat for free, go to sylviscapital.com/webinar. Again, that special link to reserve your seat for free is sylviscapital.com/webinar. I look forward to seeing you on the training. And now back to the show. So, hey, a little bit of a different episode today, but this needs to get out there because I believe in you all. I talk to many of you who listen to this podcast, and 2025 is different, and that's okay because it may actually end up being your best year yet, whether it's your hands-off income, whether it's your freedom, whether it's your relationships, whether it's contributing to the community. I need you to be open to the possibility that the doom and gloom that you may be hearing is actually not necessarily for you. It may not be your year for that. It may end up being completely different, but you'll never know that, and you'll never get there if you're not programming your reticular activating system, if you're not practicing gratitude, if you're not exposing yourself to people who've done incredible things, even when circumstances weren't ideal. Are you ready? Let's do it, y'all. Thank you again for tuning in. Wishing you a wonderfully abundant week and looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Secrets to Abundant Living podcast. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights that will empower you on your journey towards abundance. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback means the world to us, and it helps others discover the secrets to an abundant life too. Stay connected with us on LinkedIn, Amy Sylvis. Keep striving for your goals, nurturing your relationships, and embracing the adventure that is life. Until next time, we wish you an abundantly fulfilling day.